Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a quick video update here in regards to my game plan now going forward, especially now that we have, obviously the data mines from my video yesterday in regards to what's happening for the next week or two, but as well, we know that this Quantum Surge event is still going to be here for another week, so we get a bit of a break after that, just because they don't usually typically do back-to-back leaderboard events. And now, doing still pretty good as well, but remember, because of there's 8 days remaining for this event, I do suspect my score will likely go down, but I am going to be getting a pretty significant boost because those that hoarded in the past as well, if you guys have saved up your battle resources and are planning to bring up some of your Gear Tier 20 characters of Fantastic Four, remember you can take advantage of that in the Limited Time Command Center event as well. So something to be on the lookout for. But guys, I want to talk to you about my game plan here in terms of how I'm preparing for future events, as well as the release here of the new Hellfire Club, especially since they've confirmed that they're going to be the next mutant raid team, which also suggests that there's going to be new raids coming, right? It's very, very likely that Chaotic Storm, the current version that we see right now, will get replaced just because of the fact that, everybody's hitting 100%. Usually what they like to do is, Spotlight is the one that they can leave for a little while at 100%, but they usually like a challenge. They usually like us having to compete against one another, and when everyone's getting 100%, that's how you know it's the time to actually roll out new raids, especially featuring a new raid team. So what I'm still doing, and as you can see right here on my kind of snapshot right here, I'm continuing to do for future events, for future anything coming to the game. I'm just hoarding campaign energy right now as well. Yeah, you can see ISO 8. This has been a long time coming. We haven't seen an ISO 8 event in quite some time. Campaign energy has been kind of the story, right? They've been doing a lot of back-to-back, so I've still been doing my 50 core refreshes a day for campaign energy, especially for weeks like this where we haven't needed to use campaign. That has been the reason it's given me also a competitive edge against other players when there's been leaderboards, right? And that's why when we do finally have an ISO 8 one, I don't know when it will happen. I know it will return eventually. Maybe it does, and maybe that's the end of it. But the good news is that it doesn't matter to me. I'm not in a position where I need to care about ISO 8. I mean, even if you take a look at my ions right now across the board, green, blue, purple, doesn't look like a lot, right? But that's not excluding all of these orbs that I've hoarded, guys. So I haven't opened any of them. I'm sitting in a pretty good spot right now for ISO 8. I'm not really concerned about what that's going to do. And as well, like I said, I've been hoarding for quite some time that whether or not they have an event or not, it's not going to impact me. Now, I also want to talk real quickly, guys, about what also is kind of shaping up in terms of the events. Remember, there's some deadlines that we need to be mindful of, right? So this Accursed Challenge event has been nice to get some additional freebies here and there. So make sure you guys are doing that every single day. But Diabolical dealings with the new introduction of the Hellfire Club, usually they try to usher in a new showcase. So as you can see right here, there's 4 days remaining. Make sure you guys are doing all these freebies here because there's training materials. Sometimes there's first time rewards. If you're going through the missions here and you haven't done it, there's resources that you can claim for the first time. So 4 days remaining. Make sure you guys do that. It's just free stuff. All right. Fantastic Four still is going to be here for a little while, so that's the good news. Still over a month here. So we'll talk about that probably next month when they usher in a new team there. Now, I also want to talk about my other strategy here regarding the new team, guys, because I have been getting quite a few questions on this, like what my game plan is. And it's going to be very, very similar to how I treat a new team coming into the game. Whether or not they are going to be ultimately important for my investment here. So we know, and you guys know, Azazel, Rachel Summers, Sebastian Shaw, exactly in that order. That is how they're going to be released. They're going to be obviously part of the new raid team for Mutant section. But it's going to be interesting to see if even the old teams work, right? So a lot of us would have built up characters like, Jean Grey is still part of the Uncanny, so obviously she can still potentially be an option. And for those of you that brought her into Age of X Global Heroes, well, you probably have her Gear Tier 20 like myself. But we still have, the notable additions here of Nightcrawler. We still have characters like Forge, even Namor, Sunspot, the North Star being part of Alpha Flight for Spotlight. I mean, there's a boatload of options right now that's actually required and you can use as an option for Mutant. But so my first question is going to be whether or not you can get the job done with the current roster, right? I'm not going to just full-blown, the hard power cores that we've saved, the hard work that we've done with the power cores saved up. I'm not just going to blow it all instantly into this new team just because they're required for raids, because we don't even know what the raids look like. Can it be done with the old meta is my first question. I mean, I suspect that there's going to have to be some sort of feasibility to it because they can only release these characters one at a time, which means you're going to have to be able to at least theory craft a little bit for at least 2 to 3 weeks until the full team comes out, right? So something to be mindful of there, even with a 3-piece synergy. That's why, you know, characters like Emma Frost, I love the fact that they didn't change her kit, statistically reworked now so that she's more relevant. Great to see. Madeline Pryor, not much has really changed about her, but most of her impact now can be outside of war, which is great. But you can see I haven't really paid attention to building them well yet. I could bring them both to level 105 right now if I really care to, if I really wanted to. But that's not really the motive here right now, because there are some really powerful mutant characters that I think can still be an option here. And that's why I'm going to be doing a waiting and seeing approach, as I usually do with every team that comes out. Especially since I am so close to Professor Xavier, guys. I just can't see him not being a part of the new raid team that you can utilize day in, day out. One of the other most powerful mutant characters in the game is Old Man Logan. So it's just hard for me to see these two characters getting replaced by a member or two of obviously this new Hellfire Club, unless there's some sort of mechanic that they've put into it where maybe it's like non-mythic characters. You're not allowed to bring in, you know, a character like Professor X, and as well as maybe this non-legendaries are allowed. So in this case, you know, Old Man Logan also cannot be brought in. That would change the entire narrative here. But in terms of just options right now, I mean, Shadow King, Old Man Logan, Professor Xavier, heck, even a character as old as Apocalypse is still somewhat valuable in raid if you just want the one or say 2 nodes if you're doing the Chaos raids. So it's really going to be dependent on, I think, number one, the feasibility of the current meta that we have, and number two, whether or not it's structured in a way where you just can't be able to sack, and you have to be able to do it in a one shot and efficiently, and maybe you're gated, and then that's when you're going to have to pivot and work with your alliance, right? The reason I bring this up is because, actually, this is a good way to reference this. If you go to your squads here in the top, and you just circle back to all the raids, they summarize all your raid teams, and you'll go down the list here, and you'll see here that I don't necessarily max out all my raid teams, because I get them to the point where I can min-max and use them for value, right? So you can clearly see that with Thunderbolt. I did not bring up Ghost and Taskmaster. You can clearly see that with Uncanny Avenger, Beast and Storm. My Night Stalkers is a perfect example, because I stopped building, you know, a Moon Knight, as well as I didn't even start with Man-Thing there. So I mean, like, both those characters, they saved me lots, guys, because we realized that we could use characters like Mephisto, Odin, you know, No. So that's why, guys, I would caution you all right now that, you know, we always say the newest team is the best team, but I always have to caution, is the newest team also required for anything? And right now, they're saying they're required, but we don't necessarily know that until later on. So I just see it as being a potential trap. We can see how it looks first, but I am just very cautious right now, because we have such a powerful mutant category of characters here, especially with Xavier and Old Man Logan. That's where I would highly recommend you guys also, you know, stress that caution, because if there's an opportunity that we don't have to use resources and save, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So that's my game plan, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Let me know if you're against this strategy as well, if you just want to just go on full on building. I know Hellfire Club is super hyped up, but also needs to make sense for my game priorities as well, because I play the game that I want to play in the way that I want to play it, right? So that's how I roll, guys. So let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.